Hi, my name is Jo Marie Johnson, and there's something I have to get off my chest. The media that I've been watching for years doesn't always tell the truth. And I realized a long time ago that their main purpose was to give you the information that they're paid to give you. Um, they also sell advertising space, which is where they make a lot of their revenue. So it's really about keeping you captivated so they can run these commercials and you can buy those products. That's why in the past they would do human interest stories like rescuing a cat in a tree, and that used to irritate me. Well, I wouldn't say recently, last 10 years, I've turned to alternative media because I want information. But of course, even that can be controlled and you have to check it out. Well, it's human nature to be lazy. We've been conditioned to take the easy way out, sit in front of TV, listen to CNN, MSC, or whatever, Fox News, whatever you listen to, and believe what they say. They wear a suit, they make big money, and we admire people who are successful. So they tell us what's going on and we believe it. It's really not their fault. It's really our fault because we don't demand anything more. And I noticed that, I keep hearing about sheeple. People are sheep. They really are. They don't want to be singled out. They just want to conform. It's comfortable that way. Say, like, go into the airport. I don't go through those machines. They give me a hard time. They tell me that no one has time to check you. They shouldn't have to check me. They can. I could be dressed like this. Do you see a gun on me? Could I put a gun in here? No. I mean, you would tell if I had a gun. Um, so the outfits I wear, you could tell I'm not carrying a weapon. Number one. Number two, what American woman in her 60s ever blew up a plane? Zero. Has never happened. So I'm not a suspect. There's no probable cause here. They shouldn't bother me at all. But it's a conditioning. They want you going through those machines. They want you getting used to being checked, so it's normal. So you don't ever question it. You just go along to get along, and they're seeing how much you will take. Well, I don't do that because I don't even know if these machines are going to hurt my body. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So maybe in 10 years, they may have to admit that it causes cancer. I don't know, but I'm not going to trust it. How many times have the FDA approved products that end up killing people? So our system is not really geared for us, it's geared for corporate America. There's no need for those machines. And I know that. So I have them check me. And they shouldn't even have to do that. But I notice it's uncomfortable. Most Americans don't want to go through it, so they just go through the machines. And not knowing what it's going to do to their bodies are their children. So they're subjecting their children to this. And what are they teaching their children? To obey, um, to obey authority. And sometimes you shouldn't obey authorities. What if one of those kids in 10, 20 years gets cancer because of that? How are they going to feel? There's no need to do that. But people don't want to be inconvenienced. So they look the other way and subject their children to this. And we'll know in the future just how dangerous this really is. So, anyways, the last trip I took, I didn't go through those machines. And the TSA agent was pleasant. Even if it wasn't, I wasn't going through those machines. My son did. Um, but anyways, I didn't. And I got to my destination. It's very annoying. I'm even thinking of never. I try not to fly. If I can take a train or some other way, I'll do that. But anyways, that relates to what I'm talking about. How people, you inconvenience them a little bit, and you'll get them to do anything. We're weak. That's a weakness. Also, they have told us to keep us safe, we need to go through these. The problem is, safe from whom? If they're saying because of 9/11, well, they said in the planes, It was Egyptians and what was it? Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabians. Okay, so why did we go after Afghanistan and Iraq? They told us that they had training. They were training for terrorist attacks. They said this in the media. We believe them because we are sat in front of TV since we were babies, and we're taught that these guys wearing a suit and they're on television and they're big and powerful, that they're right, and it's like we need our kings and queens and we obey. Nothing has really changed. It's like back in the old days when you had a king and queen and they did what they wanted with you. It's almost the same thing. Have we progressed any? That's the real problem. So, anyways, as I was going through this, I didn't say anything, but it's really annoying to watch those people just give in, not have any self-respect for themselves. But anyways, that's the fault of the people, because if the people, if they didn't fly as much, and they complain because of those machines, they take those machines out because they're not going to jeopardize their income. But people won't do that. Now let's get back to another media story, and then I'm going to end it because these two things have been bothering me. In 2014, we saw on the TV trains of children coming from Central America, like 4 or 5-year-olds, a couple of adults on those trains. And they told us a story. Oh my God, they're coming here for a better life. These children have fallen off the train. Their arms got cut off. And they drowned in the Rio Grande River, whatever. How did the media know that they were coming over? They had the cameras there. They must have known somehow. If this was just done by these people in Central America, the children said, "Mom, I'm going to going north because they have a better opportunity." I don't know how a 4 and 5 and 6-year-old would think like that. They usually don't want to leave their parents. But anyways, they're going to truck from Central America through Mexico, hop on a train and come to America. Why do people believe that? I thought that was odd when I heard it. And then we see these trains loaded with kids all over. I mean, sitting on top of the train, hanging out the window. Was it really coming from Mexico? Was it a train in India? We don't know, but the media told us it was coming from Central America. And like train rats, we believe it. And then they have this other scene where they had a school bus, which wasn't all the kids on the train, by the way. There are a lot of kids on that train, and that they're bringing it up here, bringing these children up here to put in the foster care system for a better life, and they're going to, drop them off in Marietta. It's predominantly white over there, but so they had the school bus. What were they going to do? If there were any children, I don't know if there were or not, but I saw that on TV. Were they going to let the kids out on the street? That was odd in itself. You would think if these children came up from Central America, you have a bus full of children, you're going to find homes for them first. You wouldn't just let them out on Marietta, But that's the impression. And the other impression was they had a Hispanic group protesting the groups, the residents from Marietta who didn't want them to drop the kids off. And I thought, the whole thing is weird because, number one, it was just one busload of kids I saw, and where do those kids really come from? Were they really from that train, or were they just from LA and they just told them they were on a field trip? We don't know. You're sitting there and you're listening to what the media says and you're buying into it. You should have questioned all that. And then after that, we went on to another story. Nobody's even thinking about that. Where do those children go? Were they used for child trafficking? We don't know. You just assume they went into the foster care system. They said on the media that they sent some of the kids back because they had tuberculosis, and some of them didn't even speak Spanish or English. They spoke a Indian dialect. Well, if they did that, then who's going to be able to be a foster parent? Because you can't speak their language, you can't communicate with them. Why are we accepting these media stories without questioning them? I don't even know if that's real. I don't know if those children really came from Central America, or did we see a train full of kids in another country altogether, but the media was using that for some weird reason. And What parent would let their kids go on a train to another country at 4 and 5 and 6 years old? And you can't convince me that a 4, 5, 6 year old, 7 year old going to tell their parents, "Bye, I'm going to, California." Would they know that in these states? I don't get it. I really don't. It makes no logical sense. And the reason why it makes no logical sense, because it isn't logical. And what's really bad is how many Americans believed it and never question it. And that's the real problem. What's wrong with us? We're not thinking for ourselves. We let the media reason for us. We let the media think for us. So I want to ask you, now, is that a very intelligent way to behave? Or is it a lazy way to behave? Let them do their thinking for us and we don't have to think about of ourselves. We can go back to our Facebook, Dancing with the Stars, and pretend that the world we're living in is absolutely great and take no responsibility. We have a duty, not only to ourselves and to our families and to the community. There's a duty to make this place a better place. And that requires thinking for yourself. And that's where I want to end. Quit believing everything the media says. They're not to blame, you are, because you're buying into it. They're all they want to do is sell their products, and they like need to tantalize you a bit. But I don't know what the real reason of that story was, or what the agenda was. I don't. I just know it was odd. It was even more odd for me to see how many Americans just bought into it, accepted it. So you think about that. Anyways, I just had to get this off my chest, and thank you for listening.